Dear students, now the new chapter that I have to teach you is metals and nonmetals. So according to the syllabus given by CBSE recently that I got yesterday, you have to study the physical chemical properties of metals, nonmetals, reactivity series of metals, formation and properties of ionic compounds. Only these things, not about the extraction of metals or so many things in this chapter. So, each of the 118 chemical elements discovered till date has a set of characteristic properties for the convenience of study. These elements have been grouped on the basis of their common features into two broad classes. They are metals and nonmetals. There is no sharp line of demarcation between these two classes of elements. However, there are some characteristics, features by which metals can be distinguished from nonmetals. I mean to say that how will you identify the metals or nonmetals? So, for this, you will have to study the properties. You should have the knowledge of characteristic features of metals and nonmetals. On the basis of properties, you will be able to identify metals and nonmetals. And metals can be defined on the basis of their properties. Nonmetals can be defined on the basis of their properties. So, see here. Now, one by one, we will discuss about the physical. First of all, I would like to discuss with you about the physical properties of metals. Today, I will discuss only the physical properties of metals, not for nonmetals. And a small introduction regarding the reactivity series. So, see here. Characteristic properties of metals. First one is physical properties. Physical properties. Metal, first in physical property, the first point is, the first thing is electronic configuration of metals. Metal atoms generally possess 1, 2 or 3 electrons in their outermost cells or valence cells. For example, the electronic configuration of sodium, magnesium and aluminum are given below. See here, when you will write the electronic configuration of sodium, you will get 1 valence electron in the last cell. When you will write the electronic configuration of magnesium, you will find 2 valence electron in last cell, and in aluminum 3 valence electron in last cell. So, thus sodium, magnesium and aluminum are metals as they have 1, 2, 3 electrons respectively in their outermost cells. Exception, hydrogen and helium are exception which has one and two electrons, but they are not metals. Now the second point is about the electropositive character. See here, metals have high electropositivity, that is, they have a higher tendency to lose the valence electrons and become positive ions, that is, cations. Now, see here in the next page number 2, in the page number 2, sodium when loses one electron, it comes in the form of Na plus. When calcium loses two electrons, it comes in the form of Ca2 plus. Ca2 plus. When aluminum will lose three electrons, it comes in the form of aluminum Al3 ion, and by losing electrons, a metal atom tends to acquire the stable configuration of nearest noble gas. As for example, in the case of sodium, when sodium loses one electron, it gets the electronic configuration like neon. When calcium loses two electrons, it gets the electronic configuration of like argon. When aluminum will lose three electrons, it gets the electronic configuration like neon here, neon. Now the third point is about the malleability. Metals are malleable, that is, they can be beaten into very thin sheets. Examples: gold and silver are among the most malleable metals. Ductility. Metals are ductile, that is, they can be drawn into wires. All the metals are not equally ductile. As for example, gold and silver are the most ductile metals. See here, gold and silver are the most ductile metals. Note, it is estimated that 100 mg of silver can be drawn into a wire of about 200 meters in length. कहने का मतलब, जब आप सिल्वर के एक सिक्के को वायर में इसको स्ट्रेच कीजिएगा तो 200 मीटर लंबी वायर इसकी बनेगी, और गोल्ड का 10 किलोमीटर लंबी वायर बन सकती है. रिमेंबर, सो ए गोल्ड क्वाइन like 1 rupee coin in the like the size of today's 1 rupee coin, it can be stretched into 10 kilometer long wire. So gold is very, very ductile metal. Now in the third page, thermal and electrical conductivity. All metals are good conductors. All metals are good conductors of electricity, heat. The utensils which we use are made of zinc, copper and aluminum because these metals are good conductors of heat. All metals are good conductors of electricity because they contain free or mobile electrons. These free electrons conduct electric current. See here, free electrons conduct electricity because metals are good conductors of electricity because they contain free electrons. Note number 1, silver is the best conductor of heat and electricity while lead is the poorest. In note number 2, silver and copper are among the best conductors of electricity, followed by gold, aluminum, and tungsten. Note number 3, iron and mercury of great iron and mercury offer great resistance to the flow of current. Please delete E in great. Read it GREAT, not E. Resistance to the flow of current. So iron and mercury offer great resistance to the flow of current. Note number 4, the electrical conductivity of metals decreases with the rise in temperature, because with the rise in temperature, the vibration of core electrons increases. Means core electrons means the electrons of the valence electrons increases, with which creates hindrance to the flow of free electrons or valence electrons. Hindrance. The electrons which are available, they feel disturbance and they create hindrance to the flow of free electrons or valence electrons. Exception: graphite is good conductor of electricity, although it is a non-metal. So this is the exception of this point, means metals are good conductor of electricity. Luster: metals possesses a characteristic shining appearance called metallic luster, and they can be polished. Exception: graphite and iodine are lustrous, but they are non-metals. Tensile strength: metals have high tensile strength. Means metals, you can understand like this. Somewhere you find that electric pole contains a wire which is stretched from the top of the pole to the ground. It has tensile strength, means इसको तौलने और तानने की शक्ति है इसमें. It will not break. So wood cannot be used, carbon cannot be used for the purpose of this, for this purpose. Another example you can take, that a balance in wheat mill is hanged with the help of iron rod. You will find that when you visit or go to the shop where wheat is grinded, you will find that there the balance is hanged with the help of iron rod. Now the next point is density. Metals have high densities except sodium and potassium etc., which have low densities. See here, these are the lists and these are the densities. Here potassium has low densities, magnesium has low density, aluminum has low density. Now in the next page, because of low density, sodium, potassium, magnesium and aluminum are called light metals. Now state the next point, the next characteristic, the ninth characteristic is that state. Metals are generally solids at room temperature except mercury, which is a liquid at room temperature. 10th characteristics, melting point and boiling point. Metals have high melting and boiling points. Exception, sodium and potassium melt and boil at low temperature. Gallium and cesium can melt if kept on palm. तलहथी पर रखने पर भी वो मेल्ट कर सकता है. Our hand get moisturized when we keep these metals in our hand. Sound. Metals are sonorous means when metals are struck with a hammer, produce a characteristic sound known as metallic sound. Alloy formation. Metals can form a homogeneous mixture in combination with other metals, such a mixture is called alloy. जब किसी एक मेटल को दूसरे मेटल के साथ मिक्स करने पर एक होमोजेनियस मिक्सचर बनता है, and that can be used for many purposes, as because that is in some respect it is stronger than the metal, and it is free of corrosion. That's why alloy is prepared. So metals are can form homogeneous mixture, or from metals alloy can be prepared. This is also a very important characteristics of metal. Now brass is an alloy of copper and zinc. Now the 13th point is hardness. Metals are generally hard, and its exception is sodium and potassium are soft metals. Which can be cut with a knife. So, and after the physical properties of metals, you have to study. I will teach you about the activity series of metals. So, because you must know that the reactivity of metals differ from metal to metal. Some of the metals are more reactive, while others are less reactive towards chemical reagents. The metals that can lose electrons easily and form positively charged ions are more reactive. Those that cannot lose electrons easily are less reactive. So metals can be arranged in the order of decreasing reactivity in a series. This series is called the activity or reactivity series of metals. The series has been derived after studying many chemical reactions. So next day we will study about the reactivity series of metals, and you will have to learn the reactivity series, arrangement of metals in the reactivity series, because it helps too much in answering the reasoning questions, or also helpful regarding the extraction of metals. Though it is you have to not study this time, this special time about that, because your syllabus has been reduced. Though I will discuss with you something to make your concept clear about the reactivity series and regarding the extraction of metals. Thank you.